Rain or shine, nothing is going to stop me from taking home what's in this bag that I purchased at the local supermarket to show you the coolest thing you've ever done. When I talk to people, some of them are dunkers and others don't like to dunk. I'm a dunker. I've been dunking since I was a little kid. I dunk donuts. I dunk everything that is a pastry. Sometimes I'm so desperate, I'll dunk a cake with a fork to add a little extra milk in it. And I'll dunk those biscotti biscuits. I dunk everything. And dunkers like dunking. Others don't like to dunk. But I have a secret for you that is so incredible. Even if you're a non-dunker, you're going to want to try this one. I discovered dunking Twinkies. There's a science and an art to it. First of all, you take your Twinkie out of the package. And of course, I dunked when I was a kid, and I didn't have any brains about how bad Twinkies were for you with all those processed chemicals in there. But just for the sake of demonstration, you might want to try it, and certainly your children will try it. So you take the Twinkie out and you dunk the whole thing in the milk, not deep, but just sections at a time. But it's very scientific. You can't dunk it too long, because if you do, the whole thing will fall into the milk and make an absolute mess. And that's why you've got to have a spoon by you, just in case that happens while you're learning how to do this great experiment to get good at dunking Twinkies like I am. I'm an expert. I've been dunking Twinkies for probably over 40 years. Of course, when I was younger, I dunked more often. I hardly ever dunk anymore because I know better than eating Twinkies. But it's good for the experiment. So here's what you do. You take it in and you count to 3. 1, 2, 3. And you quickly turn it this way. Don't ever lay it flat, because the milk will be so absorbed in it, it breaks the Twinkie off and it does a belly flop right into your milk and splashes the milk out. Then once that's been soaked, you just take your milk carefully away from you and you shove that part of it into your mouth. And it's so juicy. It's incredible. It's worth dunking. And if you get it really saturated with a lot of milk, the milk just gushes out of your mouth and runs down your jaw and onto your shirt. This is why I had to have this tablecloth, because you never know just how much milk you're going to get into that Twinkie. So I was having a Twinkie fit, and I thought, I know what I will do. I will open the cupboard and maybe my Twinkies will be there, because that's where I used to hide them from my sister. I was only 11, but I was smart enough to know, don't ever leave Twinkies on a counter, because if your sister at 14 finds them, she'll eat them. So I reached way in the back. Ha ha ha, and I could hear the paper crinkle, so I knew they were there. But as I drew them closer, it felt different, like something was not right with the Twinkie. So when I brought it out for closer inspection and I looked, oh no. I'll have to share with you what I did to try to redeem the Twinkie and tell you what I saw when I pulled them out. I've been having fun with you sharing about Twinkies, but there is a punchline to this, and I'm going to go somewhere with it right now. Now, you remember when I went to the cupboard and I told you about what I saw? What happened is, when I took the Twinkies out, I was surprised. First, I felt and they were hard as a rock. I forgot how long they'd been in there. I want to say probably 2 or 3 months. Who knows, with an 11-year-old brain, which you're going to remember you have stashed somewhere like a squirrel. And when I took them and inspected it, I noticed it was like green, mossy, yucky stuff on it. But I was taught that that's penicillin and it's good for you. So I was crazy enough to take a knife and scrape it, because I figured when you dunk it in the milk, it's not going to matter. So I scraped and scraped. I scraped so much of that green stuff off that I got to the cream, the best part. And that was gross. The inside cream was all yucky, like flat as a rock, and hard as a rock. And it was horrible. And I thought to myself, I don't even want to eat this thing anymore. And so I sacrificially threw away my Twinkies and learned a valuable lesson that the Lord later taught me in life when I became a Christian. That things do not last forever. They decay and spoil and they fade away. And of course, as I grew and matured in Christ, I began to see everything around me decaying. The body of people, through health and through old age, and the things that we possess and we own and we want to cherish and keep in good, pristine condition, they break and they fall apart. And so the moral that I want to teach you from this is the only thing that will last are the things that are eternal, the things that are reserved for us in heaven, not the things of this earth. It reminds me of that hymn that says, the things of this earth grow strangely dim in the light of His, Jesus's, glory and grace. So I leave you with this word to pause and ponder.